folks, welcome to episode 9 of the Bat and the Bandit podcast. Today, we welcome back the fucking beautiful man that is Phil Campbell. How are we, Phil?
Do you know what, mate? I'm glad to be back, but I'm feeling like absolute dog shit.
You do not feel well at all today,
no,
sure
mate, I don't know whether it's the travel,
mate.
but I am feeling like a bag of bruised dicks at the minute.
Bag of bruised dicks.
It's the old seasonal fucking shite has caught
Seasonal
me.
affective disorder.
That and if I don't feel well.
You know.
So, but I'm bunged up with a cold and everything. I sound like I've been on for the fucking gear all night.
Oh, listen, it's good to have you back on the podcast anyway,
great,
man.
fucking
Ian
great
Mahood did a great job, though.
He did indeed. Shout out to Ian Mahood. I
Aye.
would not be surprised if you see that man doing his own podcast.
I would like to see that, actually.
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
From inside Evolution Boxing Club. Just
That'd be fucking in the ring, mate.
Yeah.
That'd be class.
That would be pretty cool.
Table set up in the ring, just 2 minutes. Fucking brilliant, aye.
Yeah, I want some sort of creative fucking rights for that.
No, I told him this weeks ago. Like.
How have you been, mate?
I've been good, mate. Like I say, glad to get you back, mate. My sidekick, my brother, my fucking,
Do you know,
my main man.
As weird as this sounds, I don't cope as well when I'm not around you.
I'm not a whole person.
And this is a wee bit of a strange disclosure.
Do you think maybe, just maybe,
between the two of us
would nearly make a whole person?
That's what I think it is. Because, like, for example, a prime example of just how inept I am as a person. Yesterday in the studio, lovely client Rachel left us down a sourdough loaf.
I was fucking
dead on. It was absolutely delicious, but we didn't have a bread knife.
No.
So Nikita was like, right, I'll go out and get us a knife plug. I was like, yeah, no worries at all. That's great. She came back, and within 2 minutes, she was setting up the wee blog thing. Within literally 30 seconds of her handing me the knives, one had gone to like fall out of the box, and I tried to catch it.
Oh, for fuck's
Cut
sake,
myself. Like that's literally just how inept I am.
She said you were trying to be so like quiet about it. And all.
No, she turned
around.
around.
Blood everywhere.
She turned around and it was just there, like.
Oh mate,
that shows how inept I am.
You're an idiot.
But what have I missed, man? What has been the main takeaway since we've been gone?
Not much missed, mate. Just everybody's just been fucking going their day to day and getting their work done and moving forward. Kids are all back to school, which is good.
Yeah, thank fuck, we bastards.
Fucking wee cunts.
Jesus Christ, just knocking about. Do you know what annoys me? During the summer, like, because we were all kids, we were all cunts at a stage, and you don't know you're a cunt when you're a kid.
No, you don't. You don't.
You know,
your cunt filter's not there.
It's not there. You don't have the self-awareness to know, like, I am a wee bit of a cunt.
Yeah.
So we kids be like walking by the studio and be like, "Here, master, can I get a tattoo?" Fuck up. You think you're the first person to say that walking past an adult in a tattoo, and his mates going, "Oh, that's fucking bad. You're mad. Is he chasing us? You hear what you said to your man back there? Just shut the fuck up, kids.
And then some cunts been letting their dog shit on the fucking AstroTurf out the front.
If we find who that is, this is just going to turn into like a grumpy old man podcast.
No, fucking swear to God, mate. Let's get a few things off our chest here.
Go ahead, big man.
If I catch that cunt fucking letting his wee tiny fucking fanny licking dog fucking shite my fucking AstroTurf again, he's eating it. I swear to God, dirty old bastard. I think I know who it is too, and he is a dirty looking old cunt. I'm man, you fucker, you.
It's just, hopefully, let's just hope he's not one of the 10 people that listen to this fucking podcast.
I know.
What was I going to say to you? Yeah, mate. One of the things. So there's something kind of popped up in my kind of. It made me think a wee bit. You know the way wee things get stuck in my head and they rattle around there. Yeah. Just because of the autism, they sort of, if there's a wee thought in my head, it sticks and it perambulates and permeates. So I was in China. Right. You know, I was in China. And
how were the Chinese folk? Were they nice?
They were, but like in the way that you're nice to somebody you're scared of.
You're just going to sniffle and snuffle our way through this fucking. We're sorry, folks. But it's fucking September.
They were nice in a way that you'd be nice to somebody you were scared of. Do you know what I mean? Because like they were polite and everything. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I'm a slightly bigger fella, quite heavily tattooed, white as fucking emulsion,
and ginger
and Moroccan sunset and all.
I used to be mahogany brown.
That'd be your name if you did porn.
Mahogany brown, Mahogany brown. That's a good one,
Mahogany brown.
Mahogany brown, going for it.
My porn name would be lukewarm. I decided.
Trying to thumb it in, no.
Stop looking at me!
Here, hold on a minute. Can we get a close up of that there? You're still trying to thumb it in.
Trying to get the crew to turn around and not look at me because I can't get hard on. Anyway, China.
I'd be your fluffer, mate.
Thank you, I appreciate
joking, fuck's sake. I'll be weird.
That's a good turn. Phil, go on. Anyway.
Phil, there you go. Watch you now, mate.
Fucking hitting it like one of those fucking things you got, like a door stopper thing. Anyway.
Your story. Sorry, mate.
China. Social media is illegal out there. Though the type of social media we would use in the Western world, the likes of Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. So you can't use any of that. You have to use this exclusive.
Are they allowed Pornhub?
I don't know. I used a VPN, pulled the front
Did
bumper
you?
clean off myself.
Did you?
Mate, I've such exposure to porn. I don't even think I can hack an imagination wank.
No.
I wouldn't know what to do. Thinking back to something that happened to me when I was 22, like
That's it.
getting a wee bum tickle for the first time. Anyway, China, right?
Yes, China.
So they use this messaging service called WeChat.
Yep.
And that's the only one you can use. You can't use iMessages. You can't use. It's all this WeChat downloadable app. And the majority of shops that we were in the Jinzhou region, we were in China, would only accept WePay, which is connected to WeChat.
Right.
So that seems to be this whole like nobody. I went and lift cash. Nowhere in like the main shopping precinct would accept cash.
Right.
And this kind of got me thinking.
This is common here as well, you know.
Well, China's at the forefront of technology, of sort of commerce, business,
Right.
all those kinds of things. So if they're already pretty much in that scope, that space of being a cashless society, how far away do you think we are from it realistically?
Well, there's already isn't it Starbucks?
Starbucks are saying that come October,
they're taking
they're
more
not
actual
taking
fucking
cash.
paper cash at all.
Now, on the face of it, you might say to yourself, well, sure, that doesn't mean a fuck. Do you know what I mean? We all pay for stuff on a card. We all tap stuff anyway. In 2021, I believe it was, only 15% of transactions, UK payments, were made in notes and coins.
That's scary.
Now, you think about that, that's 15%. Now, again, I know that you take into consideration, you know, we all sort of buy stuff online nowadays.
Yep.
We use our phone, we use our card and everything to tap. But that's through choice. When it stops becoming a free and independent choice that you've made, when you're mandated then that this is the only means of method to pay,
Well,
that's when it gets fucking scary.
Well, now the thing about that is that there still is people out there who don't use cards.
Yeah, there's still people
There's still
that,
people out there who depend on cash. Cash is in this society at the moment. Cash is king. It is.
Mate, I wanted to get your perspective on it because you're a business owner along with your wife. You know,
I'm a monkey.
You
I'm a monkey underneath the wife that owns a business.
I was trying. There's a fucking mental image. I was trying to give you your place there, mate.
Thanks, mate.
But as someone who runs a business,
Yeah.
like you don't have we don't have a card reader in here.
No. I mean, it's
Was
easy.
was that a conscious effort?
Well, we have card readers at home. We use them for other things. I had a card reader for working away, for selling merch and stuff like that. There is one there. It's a square. It's a very good one.
Yeah.
Nikita uses it for when she goes away to book signings.
Yeah.
Which is fine, and like I say, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
I think the conscious effort more came from her because there is payments and shit that you have to make on that. I mean, that's not a free service.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's quite a bit, Phil.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the way she saw it was, well, I'd rather fucking be not charging somebody £97 for a tattoo.
Yeah, because
every 100, you know what I mean?
This is the bit
that was only £3, but over a fucking year, man, that's a lot of money.
Well, this is the bit that gets interesting then. So if you say £100 tattoo, if they're taking a percentage of that,
and then you're taxed on all that as well.
Yeah.
So they're constantly taking, they're constantly being able to get money from you. And what's going to happen is, sorry, Phil.
No.
I'm
I'm interested. That's why I asked.
The thing for me is that sooner or later, they're going to be able to track you at all corners because whatever you're getting going in, they can see.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're already doing it now with that universal fucking credit shit. So people who are getting money from the government has the right and by law to go in and look at your account anytime they want to see if there's been anything else getting into it or anything dodgy coming out of it.
Now that is almost pushing you towards the very starts of like a fucking dystopian society.
Big Brother.
Like,
It's fucking Big Brother
Yeah,
watching.
there's strains of fucking Orwell's 1984 there.
We're in a weird out place at the minute, man, because there's a tipping point with all this shit And where the tipping point ends up hitting,
Yeah.
you don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Now, if I were to be a wee bit conspiratorial,
Right.
I would say that the pandemic came at just the right time for the government to enforce these measures. Was that serendipitous? Was that like, oh, here it's fortuitous that just the pandemic happened that we can introduce these measures to lessen social interaction?
People who are
let me finish. Let me finish. Thank you. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but let me fucking finish my point. Or was the pandemic, the scamdemic, whatever you want to call it, was that engineered for the purpose of bringing in these particular measures from the government?
Well,
you may speak.
Thank you, Phil.
Welcome.
Sorry, man. Where the fuck's Ian? I want Ian back. Here. My thoughts on that are that we can't deny the pandemic happened. People died from it. We know people that died from it. It did happen.
And without sounding callous or without sounding, numb to the loss of life or whatever, people die every flu season, and it's the same demographic are dying all the time.
There's a lot of people who die every year from the flu.
Yes.
There is. Now, was this another type of that they kind of fucking capitalised on? I don't know. I'm not big on conspiracy about it. I've been thinking more lately about the vaccines and shit, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't feel...
Are we just turning into a fucking right-wing fucking Alex Jones conspiracy?
No, I don't think so. I think
Florani in the water turned the frogs gay. That was happening here.
But it has to be said,
Yeah,
I don't
fair.
feel as healthy as I did before I got those fucking vaccines, man. And I didn't get colds and flus.
Yeah.
And now I'm struggling with a throat thing every couple of weeks.
Well, I told you.
I never had any of that before.
I told you when I got the vaccine. Now, again, if we're talking about sort of cashless society,
that's not conspiracy, that's fact.
Yeah, we're talking about cashless society leads to sort of greater means of societal and social control by governmental institutions. What happened to me? It's kind of in the same vein. What happened to me? So, I travel for work. Technically, I'm self-employed. I'm an independent contractor. So yes, it was. You can get the vaccine if you want, or if it's completely freedom of choice. You have the right to get it, the right not to get it. However, if you do not get it, you will not be allowed to travel internationally. If you do not get the booster, you will not be able to travel internationally. Now, I had to get, again, when it came to the vaccine, I wasn't militantly one way or the other. Only thing was being told to do something. Yeah. Being mandated to do something, mandate, not being law, but being mandated to do that, entering into the social contract whereby you're saying, I'm only allowed to do these things, I'm only allowed to do X if I do Y. I had to get a third booster to go to Korea.
Shit.
So I'm triple vaccinated.
I've had 2.
And that is not a flex by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, in the current climate, I'm a wee bit embarrassed to admit that. However, had I not been triple vaccinated,
you wouldn't have a job.
They were taking away my ability to earn money. They were taking away my ability to pay my bills. They were taking away my ability, quite simply, to live. Yeah. So when you put it in those kinds of terms, is there such a thing now as sort of full autonomy of self when it comes to these kind of limitations and these kind of?
Do you not think there's a point where a human being can step out of what he's in, what's around him? We are still we are stuck with what they want us to do at all times, because if we don't do that, we will not get this, and this. Yeah. If you're the type of person that doesn't need this, and this, then you just step the fuck out of it. Yeah. But that puts you back into that kind of like that modality, the hill people thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People
and there's still, and then that's a stigma. Those sort of like those guys that live off grid. There's almost now a stigma that has been cultivated.
Is there a chat to have about that off grid thing, man? I mean, it's something that you can really see happening in the next 20 to 30 years. People are going to have to fucking do their own thing.
I like a cappuccino too much.
Do you? We'll get you a cappuccino machine. No, I mean, I'm assuming you're going to stay up with me anyway.
Can you get cappuccinos in the wild? Do you grow them or what?
Is it like grow the beans, mate?
Is it like a cappuccino tree or something?
Yes, mate, and fucking milk a cow, sure, and that's your cow, that's your milk and shit.
But then, like, electricity for, like, frothing the milk, mate, I've thought about this. I couldn't live without a fancy coffee, like, for
a wee battery one that fucking froths the milk.
But then you would need to go into town to get the batteries. We're not mixing with the townsfolk.
No, we're not mixing with the townsfolk.
No, we're the ones that they look at us and they keep their reins away from us and all, and be like, keep away from the hill people.
Do you ever watch any of that shit though?
I've seen like coming like that doomsday prepper type stuff.
It's mad, isn't it?
And that's but the thing is,
they've more ammo stored than food.
They always make. What is their hard on for ammo?
I know. ammo and fucking guns, and then a wee bit of food in it.
Well, a couple of tins,
A couple of tins.
fucking RPGs and fucking AKs and everything like that. Full rooms dedicated to them. But anyway, mate, cashless society.
Yes.
Right. I was doing a wee bit of research into it, and I was looking at like proposed advantages, because you know the way if you look hard enough for anything on the internet, that sounded like I was looking for filth. That's not what I meant. If you look hard enough for something, you will. No, listen.
Phil.
Here, I will surrender the hard drives.
What did you find?
You can have a look. Like, don't worry about it. I'll show you later.
Send us a link.
But you know, if you look hard enough for something, it's what's called confirmation bias.
Yep.
If you're looking for advantages of something, you'll find it. If you're looking for a disadvantage of something, you'll find it. So I was googling advantages of a cashless society and disadvantages. Some of the advantages were a reduction in crime. So you're going to see like a reduction in burglaries, bank robberies, potential corruption and bribery and everything like that. And on the you read that on the face of it, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, that's a great point." The modality of the crime just changes. You're not having
the modality of the crime just changes. They become murderers instead of bank robbers.
Or you know, like a mugging, if you will, where give me all your money. Then it just turns into cyber crime, where an old person then gets scammed.
Well, I mean, the cyber crime is already a big thing.
Huge.
But you see what you just said there? That was actually a very good point, because the modality of the crime just changes. A lot of crime is done for the crack, for the adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If they can't rob a bank anymore, they just do something else.
Gone are the days of sort of like romanticizing crime, where it's like, you know, like these Robin Hood type characters don't fucking exist. Do you know what I mean? That's a fallacy.
And then sure, I mean, there's still jewelry and diamonds and shit you can't actually steal.
There's still shit that can be stolen. Mm-hmm. So I thought that point on the face of it, you were like, oh yeah, that's a great point. But then when you really think about it, no, that's a complete fucking fallacy. There was also a point that it would affect a cashless society would directly affect criminal enterprises.
Right.
So they wouldn't be able to launder money and such. So they wouldn't be able to own or like buy the businesses like. I don't want to say any type of business, because you know there's quite a lot of these types of businesses in Larne. You know, fronts for organised crime. Yes,
but
so then how would they? I'd be interested to know what would be the process then.
They just do it. They just work out how to clean money that's going into their account from other accounts. It doesn't have to be cash.
It doesn't have to be actual tangible cash.
It doesn't have to be tangible cash.
There was also
they just need to leave a good paper trail, of like a fake paper trail of where it's been, how it got to them. You know?
Yeah, because the thing is, like, cash in and of it doesn't leave an actual trail.
Yeah.
But any transaction online leaves a traceable digital footprint.
Yep.
Which again, you know, we make it sound like we're doing stuff that we're trying to hide or anything like that. But at the end of the day, mate, everyone values their own privacy.
Everyone values, and I think you have a fucking right to your own privacy. Yeah. I think this is the shit that gets me, man.
I don't want the government to know that I fucking bought a double ender. Do you know what I mean? Just because they can track that on fucking.
That's not their fucking.
That's not their business. Do you know what I do?
Everybody else's business.
What I do in the privacy of my own home is entirely my business. But yeah, again, it's. These things make me think. Okay, if this is the starting point, if they can impede upon your civil liberties and your privacies in such a fashion, that way, and then that becomes accepted. What's the next progression then?
The next progression.
What freedom are you then giving up?
Well, the next progression then is that you're instead of it being a credit score, it'll be almost like a score where you're judged on what you have coming in, which they know exactly what's coming in there. They know exactly what's going out. They know what you can afford. They know what bills you're not paying. They know what bills you're not paying to them. They know what taxes you're not paying. You know what I mean? It becomes a fucking thing where they have you actually in the palm of their hand going, if you don't do this, we're just going to shut this off for you.
Yeah.
You'll not be able to get this. And where does it end? The point where we'll just shut your water off if you don't. If you don't start fucking, you know what I mean? We'll just make it hard for you to be able to go and buy food.
Was there not a movie like that?
Yeah.
Where you had like it came up. I can't remember what it was, but like you would get like again you would have like a biometric chip or something.
Yeah.
And you would get that scanned. And it would bring up your score for everything.
Yeah.
And you would scan that for food. You would scan that for to pay your bills and all that. And I remember watching that thinking, fuck me, that's mad.
I thought it knocked back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What happens then? But I
Is
remember
that the mark of the beast?
That's a great fucking point. That's what I was.
Is that the mark of the beast?
That's because for people who may not know, you talk about the mark of the beast being 666, and everyone just assumes that that's someone's going to have 666 like branded upon them. But that's really like a metaphor, if you will, for the societal degradation or the devolvement of the societal institution as we know it.
Yeah.
So explain that. I don't think I explained that well enough there. So explain your interpretation of what, say, the mark of the beast would be then.
The mark of the beast.
It's a marker or a sign of something.
So
not as literal as we would take it.
I think biblically, from what I could make out reading it, but I mean it's something that I fucking have delved into many times. You know what I mean? Biblically, the mark of the beast was always going to be the societal. Now, there's two. The actual mark of the beast, 666, means not man. 555 is man. Whatever the codes are, 555 is man. 666 is whatever else it is, and
I didn't know you were in the angel numbers.
Well, what do you hear? This is the way it works out. 555 is the number of man. 666 was the number of something that wasn't quite God, and 777 was God.
Yep.
So the 666 was that in between. You know what I mean? So that was always kind of what that meant. But biblically, the mark of the beast was going to be that everybody will have something, some type of mark at some stage in society, which meant when you have that mark, you are now controlled by the beast, which is the machine or the whatever government or whatever head of government you deem to be the Antichrist. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And it's whatever that person is in that this shit all starts coming in, that you end up with some sort of mark, which could be that fucking
biometric scanner.
That biometric scan.
Yeah,
you know
that's fucking terrifying.
Because I remember my mom was like, the bank card, when the bank cards come in, you could put it in the machine, you could pull it out before you could tap it or put it in a shop. She was like, this is the mark of the beast.
Aye.
My mom was a wee Christian. Like, I says, why the fuck have you got one? Well,
that's the thing. It's like we all complain about, they're gonna fucking impede upon our privacy, and they're getting into everything. They're gonna know where we are all the time. Yeah. That's in my pocket all the fucking time.
And here, who makes them? Chinese people make them. The fucking enemy of the Western world. Do you know what I mean? They're making our phones,
and we're
running about using them and putting them in a fucking hell, man.
You raised an interesting point about your ma. I read a report that said if we move to completely cashless society, that is going to impact upon the more vulnerable of society.
The poor are going to fucking suffer.
The poor, and
even more than they are.
Also the old.
Yeah.
Now the older generations deal in cash. Mm-hmm. That's how they go to the shop, they pick up their pension, they get the full thing.
They're assuming that all the old folk are going to have younger folk beneath them that can fucking help them out and sort all this out for them.
I tried to. I'm 35 years old. My mother, who I love to death, is 70. I tried to show her how to work with like online banking, and it just wasn't working. So if you have a complete generation who are technologically not inept but technologically oblivious,
they never had to deal with it. Do you think there's a certain point in age where you can't learn anymore? Where you actually can't fucking learn how to do.
Well, there's a certain point where you check out. Do you know what I mean? Like I do it a lot with, like, I love language, and I love the etymology of language, how the derivation of words and how they come together. You see, when you're not part of the most current generation when it comes to, we'll say, for want of lack of a better word, street lingo. Like the current generation, see some of the dumb shit. Now, Jack, you can keep me right on this, like, because you're a young man who's a little bit more in tune with the social youthful pulse of the day.
All these like just like
Riz.
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Get fucked. So he's like, in my day it was called game. Do you know what I mean?
Is that what that means?
Well, it's a derivative of charisma. So if you are charismatic, if you have, we would say, if you've seen him with the girls, he's got a fucking great game. We're not say, here he rizzed her up good and proper.
Here,
shit. That's just, it sounds fucking stupid.
It's the abbreviations and shit. I mean, my daughter will send me shit, and I am constantly fucking saying to her, "What does that mean?"
I heard somebody say the other day, "Dude, that's so mid."
Yeah.
What would you assume that means?
What was the other one that she said? Mid, like fucking like. Sort of not good, not bad. I don't know.
Middle, I presume.
I would have presumed. What does it mean?
Jack, what does
mid? Stop you pretending you don't know. Look at him fucking. This is our wee producer pretending he doesn't know.
Stop making a dick out of me, Jack.
I don't bother with weird.
Jack,
you're sitting with two of them.
Jack, just tell us, will you?
These are old.
Do you know what? He's gatekeeping. Is what he's doing. He doesn't.
He's watching out for his own.
What other? We've got young Jack searching stuff now.
What was it? What was the other one that's so fucking something? She kept saying it when we were in New York. And I was like, look, what the fuck is that? What are you saying to me?
I was sitting with my niece who's 11, and we were talking about something, And I think I'd done something cool, and she just looked at it and went, "Oh, yep, slay."
Slay, that was it.
What the fuck does
that was
mean?
one she says as well, mate. What the fuck, slay? What is it? What does it mean?
I think it just means to have done well. I think.
Okay.
Now, slay would mean one of two things to me:
Kill somebody.
or a toboggan.
What's it? Fuck's a toboggan?
So we slay.
Do
you know
How
what?
do you know that?
What's toboggan?
A toboggan?
Aye.
You're a toboggan?
That was so fucking mid.
So mid slay.
Mid is a slang term used to describe something or someone as mediocre.
Mediocre, right?
That's what I kind of thought. That's what I would have assumed. Like that kind of.
So middle ground.
Middle ground. That's not fucking. It's not great. It's not made. It's amazing.
Slay means greatly impress or amuse someone.
Slay means to greatly impress or amuse someone.
You slay me, kid.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Fuck me.
Even though you said that earlier.
You fucking toboggan me as well, mate. So you do.
What is a toboggan?
Toboggan is like a wee sleigh.
Is it an actual thing?
That you would go like downhill on a snowy day.
I'd search that up, but I haven't a clue how to spell it.
I didn't make that word up, did I?
I think you did, mate. Toboggan.
Aye. Like a wee
Aye.
wee woo. So
Right, where are you now?
cashless society.
Yes.
So yeah, a report that said 1 in 5 people in the UK could be left behind in a cashless society.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand the technology, for one.
yeah.
And like you said, there's a stage where you get to where you're just like, fuck that, I'm too old.
Mate, I'm at that now.
With what?
When it comes to online forms and shit like that, mate. Or you know, whenever you're paying for something, you pay me your card online, you have to type all your shit in. I'm just like,
Mate, I've seen myself
I'm
get
not doing
halfway
that.
through something.
Just turn it
and,
off.
and just be like, do you know what, fuck it, I don't want it that bad.
I hand it to Nikita. She does it in about fucking 20 seconds, man, it's done. I sit there for half an hour trying to pay for something. Did you find it? Read it. Tell us what it says, Jack.
A long, light, narrow vehicle.
A long, light, narrow vehicle, because you might not be getting picked up, so I'll recite what you... Right, a toboggan is, from a start.
A long, light, narrow vehicle.
A long, light, narrow vehicle,
Typically on runners.
typically on runners,
Used for sliding downhill over snow or ice.
used for sliding
So
downhill
it's a
over
fucking
snow.
sled. A sled.
Yes.
No, there's a sleigh and a toboggan. Lee, a sleigh and a toboggan, my God.
There
Oh.
is a term below it saying, my kids love to go tobogganing in the park before Christmas dinner.
Now that sounds mid, but middle class.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have a toboggan growing up.
I did not fucking believe that was a word there for a second.
Mate,
man.
you never doubt me when it comes to the old vernacular. Another cashless society, harder to budget for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, it comes down to...
I'm sorry, sniffing and fucking snorting all the...
I'm the same. This isn't even coffee. I have a fucking
You have a
lemsip here.
double lemsip in that, haven't you?
Doubled up on the lemsip. It's harder for people to budget, because if you have a particular learning style, whether that be kinesthetic, visual, oral, I think that's the 3 main types. So if you're a kinesthetic learner, you learn by doing, and you're a visual learner, you learn by seeing. You learn to budget by having the tangible money there and knowing that's what I have.
Yeah, I need to put this much away and
Exactly.
spend that much on drugs.
That's another industry.
love drugs, mate.
That's another we used to.
Drugs are going to suffer, man.
We used. That's what I was going to think. Now we independent business owner. That business being import export. Now your dealer's not turning up at your door with 2 G's being like, "You tap that for us, mate."
Tap that for us, mate.
But that's another industry that is fucking
What happens
suffering.
there? Bitcoin. That's where Bitcoin comes in.
I'm not even sure what Bitcoin is.
Near
to be
my
fair.
here, but I wished I had fucking started mining it when it first came out because
Yeah.
people are fucking Bitcoin fucking millionaires. Like,
I still can't get a wee drug dealer at my head coming up to you with a chip and pin machine.
hey lad, here, you just touch your card on that there.
When you put no wee tip on that. No.
Now what's that coming up as you? car parts.
Right. Now, this is a story I heard from a friend of a friend that definitely wasn't me. So, my friend is in Colombia, right? Now, Colombia is known...
I know who this is. Go ahead.
Now,
Go ahead. Tell us a story.
Colombia is known for a particular delicacy, would you call it?
I would call it a delicacy.
A delicacy. So, this friend of a friend of a friend, let's call him Billip. Right.
Billip, I know Billip well.
So Billip's...
Call him Bill for short. won't we?
Aye, let's
short,
call him Bill. So Billip's running about, and all the taxi drivers, white taxi drivers, he heard from a reliable source, they would all fire out a wee bit of gear,
Right,
a wee bit of
okay.
ching, if you will.
Yeah.
So he gets himself a bit. goes to give the cash and everything. Pulls out a card reader. Tap the card. It just comes up as a
fare.
As a fare.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah. So then I'm thinking, there was me thinking there for a wee second there, what about the poor wee drug dealers? But they would just adapt in that kind of fashion.
Oh, aye,
so they would, mate, the amount of...
It would be people on the go like that would have to start doing it. Or if you wanted to sell it, you would have to do that type of job.
The way you see, if we go to a cashless society, the amount of new taxi firms that fucking pop up.
I know. Yeah, they're fucking right.
But going back, so the thing I was saying about budgeting, right? So, because that was my original point, right? Because how many times has you been out on the drink or something? What are you laughing at?
Yeah, keep going.
So they might say, imagine you're out on the drink with your pals, all that kind of thing. You're going to the bar, and you're just tapping your card all the time.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. You have no track of that. Like, you don't know how much
you can't
spent.
feel that wee wall of notes getting smaller in your pocket.
You can't. You don't have that physical representation of opening your wallet and seeing that there's fuck all there. You just think, boom, I'm happy enough tap, and then the next day you have the fucking fear. You check your bank account, and you spent fucking £350 in Dobbins.
Dobbins.
You know what I mean? You're wondering how the fuck did that happen?
I love this shit, man.
I
fucking love this shit. You know what? Look at us. Look at that, you country. That's fucking brilliant.
It is lovely to be back, even though
it's good to be back, man. It's good to be listening to you.
Even though I feel like an absolute bag.
Mate, you don't sound like it. You're flying there, big son.
I'm bunged up to the back walls here, mate. Like I say, I'm fucking double dipped on the fucking lamb set here.
I got 4 shots of espresso on that.
Fuck me, right? Yeah. Oh, you're hard, aren't you?
I'm hard as fuck, man. No whiskey or nothing, like just espresso.
Oh, fuck me, how you coping with that?
It's a bit weird.
Another community that'd be affected. Was it rural communities?
Yes.
Not just farming communities, but people who are isolated. Because you can attest to this. Internet shite where you are.
It's good now.
Was good. Good now. Well, it was shite.
It was shite. Satellite internet. Anybody ever fucking had to deal with that?
How's that work?
As soon as a cloud comes over, it's fucked. Just shits itself as soon as it gets cloudy.
You're buffering as soon as there's a wee cumulonimbus.
There's a wee cube of blue sky. Will we get our fucking email sent here?
Having to shift over to it. But yeah, rural communities where like the likes of access to internet and everything isn't as good, and you can't access your online banking, or so there's only really, to be fair, there's only really one fucking bank left in the town in Larne now at the minute. For example, the Santander. So even going and getting your money and everything, or having to go and actually do, like, if you're an older person, like my mum, for example, would rather go to a physical bank and do a transaction, whether that's moving money from one account or the other.
Yeah.
She feels a degree of security in going that and knowing that it's actually done. So if you don't have that,
there's a part of me thinks you're safer in a fucking building society anyway, putting your money in that.
Why so?
Because I just think your money's a bit more secure than it is a bank. They're not lending out as much. You're not getting as much interest in them that's sitting there, but you don't give a fuck about that, man. I think your money's just generally safer in general. Sitting there in a fucking account in a building society. Plus then if you need a mortgage and stuff, and you've been using those guys for years.
Yeah.
And say, listen, can you just help me out? And they will help you out, you know what I mean? Banks just don't want to know.
What is it like if we move to a completely cashless sort of digital society? What if that system crashes? What if you say there's a blackout?
Say there's an electromagnetic pulse.
Yeah.
Say something hits us and just wipes out all of that's your fucking money gone.
Yeah.
I mean, a good magnet against a fucking computer will wipe that computer clean. Imagine what it would do to a bunch of servers that are.
Hey, whoa, sorry. So how do you wipe a computer?
Not telling you. No, doesn't matter.
But yeah, if say there is some sort of electrical fault, or if there is a cyber terror attack, for example, say another country decides that they want a complete blackout, what happens then if you don't have tangible fucking cash?
But then do you not think that if that happened anyway, that your cash that you did have, which was going to be in a bank, that you were lifting out, if you don't have that sitting in your house, and again, when that happens, does cash become worthless? It become a barter society?
Yeah,
well, I mean?
And saying that, was it the Weimar Republic?
I don't know.
Or was it under the Third Reich? The First World War, the Second World War, were just printing money left, right, and centre to the point where it became absolutely fucking worthless.
And no matter what it was.
People were using wheelbarrows of cash to burn to fuel their homes.
To keep themselves warm.
Yeah,
Didn't matter.
It became absolutely.
Didn't matter. Cash in a society is always to do with how much gold the fucking country owns.
Yeah.
And much of that gold you actually own. I mean, you know this here. I mean, a note is an IOU. If you look at it, it says, I promise to
pay
the
the
bearer
bearer.
on demand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What you've actually have in your hand, that 20 quid, is an IOU for the amount of gold that you owe whoever you're buying
Yeah,
something off.
yeah.
I owe you that, and that becomes the fucking.
That's
you know
all
what I mean?
you-
There's a whole. It's worth looking into. Phil. There's a whole thing with it.
You almost empower that fucking note.
That's it.
To represent
exactly
the
that's
quantity.
all it is. That's all it is. That's the amount of gold that you own that whatever bank you're in has sitting in its reserves.
Have you ever caused a scene? Now, obviously, we live in the north here, so our
Cause a scene all the fucking time.
So
man,
when you
but
go to
be
when you
more
go to
specific.
when you go now it used to be. Do you mind if you were going to England or anything, you would need to get your banknotes changed?
Mate, I hate that fucking shit.
I always
Fucking English.
refused.
Oh,
I
aye,
always
that's
refused.
it. And it's still sterling. It says fucking sterling on it, and the English won't take it off us.
Now there is a
The
phrase.
fucking
There
bastards.
is a phrase
Is that
that
hate
comes.
speech? I don't know. I don't give a fuck.
There is a
fuckers.
phrase that comes out of every man on this island when they find themselves in a situation like that. Do you know what that phrase is?
Go.
That's legal tender, pal. Now, in no
That's
other.
fucking legal tender.
Now, in no other situation in your life will you use that fucking particular phrase, but as soon as you're standing in a fucking Sainsbury's in Hampstead Heath, and they say they can't fucking because you've done whatever else you do in Hampstead Heath, so you go over and you need a wee look at it or something like that, and you go to pay with a $5, and they have to go and get their manager. The manager comes and looks at it. No, sir, we don't accept that. And you just think, fuck
It's
me.
fucking sterling, mate. That kills me.
It's legal tender, is what it is. And another thing I wanted to ask you.
Are they actually allowed? Do you think?
I don't think they're allowed to. Again, I don't know what they can't refuse a banknote.
Right. Anyway, go ahead. You wanted to ask me.
I wanted to ask you more about the whole cashless society and the effect that would have then upon independent businesses.
Right.
Because again, you're talking about, is it like some cards? Obviously, yeah, you don't just get given a card reader and that's it.
No.
You have to pay your percentage to.
It would be a percentage. Aye.
And I
don't know
think it's in around 3%.
3%. So
Yeah.
it would be three quid in 100.
Three
wouldn't
quid,
it?
three quid in every 100.
Aye.
Surely that
Over a year.
because then what you get into this horrible situation whereby the business will have to put their prices up in order just to maintain what they would have been getting in cash.
That's it. And then nobody's going to put their price up honestly. People are going to stick a tenner on that to
Yeah.
cover the 3 quid.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they're actually making a bit of money. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot to that. There's a hell of a lot to unpack because then if you start doing that, is that 3 quid that you're paying to the card? That's going to be a taxable deduction. Then I'm assuming as well.
I
Do you know
presume
what
so, yeah.
You're bound to be able to get your fucking
Recoup.
tax
Yeah.
recoup that there at some stage. You have to be able to, or they look at that like, no, that's you earned that. That's what came into your thing. That's what they're taking off you. That's between you and
Yeah,
them.
because you've entered into that contract with
Do you know,
them.
yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Aye.
It's fucking. What we need to do.
And here, I mean, they're taxing you on once you get tax. I mean, fucking income tax. So you've been taxed all your life on your money that you have now saved. You die, and you want to give that to your kids. That gets fucking taxed again.
Yep, 100%.
That gets taxed again
Yeah.
before your kids get that.
And also, if you don't like, how many times have you seen like someone have to go into care or something like that, and then the government takes the fucking house, the government takes the fucking savings to pay for the care and all
Doesn't
that.
matter fuck what you paid in your taxes or your fucking national insurance. They take everything that you own off you to pay for that.
It makes you wonder why you're paying. Like, what are the real and again, we sound like grumpy old men here, but I don't experience any of the real benefits.
Let's do the grumpy old man thing. Let's do it.
I don't experience any of the benefits that I pay tax into.
Your government is
You see, if I really need medically, for example, sorry to cut you off,
ahead.
just to finish this wee point. You see, medically, for example, now the NHS is on its fucking knees,
Yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt. And speaking
Unless
of
you're
knees,
Dan.
and speaking of knees, I had to wait. I think it was 2.5 or 3 years for a knee operation on the NHS. To the point where when I needed that knee operation,
You deteriorated, hadn't
I
you?
deteriorated so badly that I needed a second knee operation. So, and I learned this when I was relatively young and still in decent enough shape. But now, if I need something medically, I'll pay private.
Yeah.
I'll pay private to get it done because it's my health at the end of the day. So it doesn't benefit me to fucking wait on the NHS to go to the NHS.
Now,
Well,
at what stage do we stand up? In the 60s, people fucking went out on the streets. They took the streets. They did. You know what I mean? People are a bit more dubious about doing that. And then, but you're attaching the riots and bans to fucking any protest that happens in this country, especially.
Yeah.
Our government here is non-existent because of that fucking pedo. Because of that cunt.
Mate, you're speaking about government. You're going to have to be a wee bit more specific on which particular pedo.
Well, you know the fucking one that was running the country. You know
Aye.
that one, yeah.
That
yeah.
pa- that-
well, not because there's probably all sorts of fucking legal shit
Yeah.
attached to that there.
But that pious.
But that pious
wasp
motherfucker,
bastard.
yes, absolute cunt. And you look, our government in any country is meant to be working for the people.
Yeah.
We are now working for the government.
100%.
The government has become, and in most countries, the government has become dictatorships, and it's the same in the UK. It's the same here. It's the same in the States. We are now in a position where we are fucking. We're not slaves.
No.
That's a wrong word to say.
We're
But
subservient.
But we're subservient.
Yes.
Definitely subservient to a fucking tyrannical government.
But you
Which
think
scares the fuck out of me, Phil. Where do people draw the line? And who has the balls to stand up? Where's the revolutions? Where does this? Why does none of this happen anymore?
I think the north of Ireland holds the distinction for, I think, the longest devolved government in the history of modern democracy.
Yeah.
Because they all fell out over, what was it, the Irish Language Act?
Yep.
Now, I don't know about you, but you see, if I don't work, if I don't do a job that I let's say, well, they are, the elected representatives. Now, as a working man, if I don't go to work and I don't do the job that I have agreed to do, I don't get fucking paid. What was it, for 3 fucking years, those cunts sat out, and the only thing they ever voted on was to give themselves a fucking pay rise.
They're hateful bastards.
What is it?
The people up in this part of the fucking island are hateful. Not the people. The people are beautiful. We love you all. We do, and we love everybody. We really do. I have to say this here now. We do love everybody, and whenever we sort of start talking about stupid shit about other people in other walks of life, we are having a bit of crack. It's not. There's nothing serious pointed at anybody. We're looking at the absurdities and everything.
It's just the absurdities of modern day society, and we approach people with the same sort of authenticity and energy that they give us, right from the get go. Yeah. And that's something I'll always continue to do.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you have people who are not doing the jobs that they're getting fucking hundreds of thousands a year for, and they're just sitting there scratching their fucking nuts, laughing at the people in this country, thinking, sure, the UK, London will run it until we decide to go, fuck that shit. We need governed. Big time. We need fucking governed because the UK don't want us and the South don't want us. We need governed. We need a proper government. And I'm not talking about these fuckwits that go around the door. You know who I'm talking about? These fuckwits that go around and knock on the door saying, can I count your vote? Can you fuck?
You can keep away from the fucking Waynes is what you can do.
Keep away from the fucking children, you dirty hairs.
But are we guilty then of being the ones that have, to a certain extent, created this situation and allowed it to happen because we vote in such tribal, secular fashions?
I think that's starting to fucking...
I would fucking hope so, but I would hope so, but in the same breath, to be slightly duplicitous, I'm not very hopeful. Yeah. Because green areas will always vote green. Yeah. Blue areas or orange areas will always vote orange. Yeah. And I think until that completely dissipates, because I have relatives that know absolutely fuck all about politics, but as soon as they go in, they'll look at the ballot. They won't look at the name. They'll look at the party and take it purely based on that. So until that is distilled and sort of generationally sort of grown out, I think we are going to be victims to a situation that we've created ourselves. So we also need, as a society, we also need to take a wee bit of responsibility for creating the monster that we're rallying against.
That's it. And the thing is too, is that both sides of the sectarian divide both think they won. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They both think they won. And who really the biggest losers out of all this here are the children of those people who have to try and fucking fix their fuck ups and their mistakes in the next generation, man. You know, my Isaac and all who are growing up, and they have to.
He's going to inherit it.
Yeah, they're going to inherit our bullshit. Yeah. You know what I mean? There are bullshit that they have to try and fucking iron out and make work for themselves and their own societies and their own children, and you know what I mean? It's a weird situation with this country's in. Now, it's okay because we're not shooting and killing people. Yeah. Big time anymore. Like in fucking like in numbers. We're not doing that anymore, which is good. But there's just something else is wrong. There's something else underlying that just we can't get a head off, and we're not going to while we have these fucking governments that just hate each other. Yeah. Standing in power together. Fucking, you know. Does
it benefit them financially to be at a constant stalemate?
Possibly. Now, the only good thing about being up here is we can opt out of a lot of the fucking laws that the English put in the rest of the UK.
Fucking English.
That,
Jesus.
but we get
So is
to
that hate
we
speech?
get to opt out of that. So
Yeah.
we do. You know what I mean? Yeah. We get to opt out of those dodgy fucking laws, and the ones that keep taxing you for being taxed, and you're being taxed on this, so now we need to tax your tax.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I would like to have a conversation with. We were going to do a wee bit of a chat about sort of like hate speech, and freedom of speech, hate speech versus freedom of speech. What is the main difference to that? Personally, I'd like to keep that and maybe do a wee bit more research on
No,
that.
I think you and me. That's a good one to do the next time. Let's keep hate speech out of this one because it's such a fucking can of worms.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
even I think the terminology, hate speech,
Yep.
demonizes it right from the get go.
That's it. So if you say something derogatory online or out loud in front of people who are with the person you're saying it about,
Yeah.
you can get arrested for that. So it's worth a chat. You can get arrested for that. You can go to jail for fucking for voicing an opinion.
I would
now
like,
listen.
yeah.
There's a difference between voicing your opinion and attacking somebody.
Yeah.
Out and out attacking somebody.
Yeah, or antagonising
And-
or
yeah, you know what I mean?
inciting, if
That's
you will.
it. So that's worth a look at next time.
I would like to do a wee bit more of a deep dive on that. Would you like to hear a few listener questions?
Have we got a few? Have
We
we?
have one or two.
Let's do it.
Bear with me.
Well, excuse the fuck out of my sniffling and snuffling,
I mean, I'm exactly the same.
but I don't feel bad. You feel bad.
Oh, I feel horrible.
I just feel like I'm fucking.
I feel like I'm hungover without the joy of being fucking wrote off the night before. Do you know what I mean? That cloudiness kicking in. Yes, listener questions. Favorite all-time movie or movies and why?
Okay.
That's here. That's. Do you know what? That's a lovely wee question. That just after the fucking the deep dive we've been doing on stuff. That's just a lovely wee question, isn't it? Favorite movie. Now,
Favorite movie: Smokey and the Bandit. Still has
did
to
you
be.
believe that I've never seen Smokey and the Bandit?
Ah, for fuck's sake, Phil.
No.
Let's
no.
smoke a joint someday and watch it. I think you'll get a kick out of it.
I'm well up for that. Now, obviously, the go-to answer for me obviously would be anything Batman orientated. So I'm gonna the caveat for this would be my favorite non-Batman orientated kind of
Okay,
movies.
go.
I am a sucker for a romantic comedy.
You do like a rom-com, don't you,
A
kid?
predictable, shite romantic comedy. My favorite.
Nicholas Sparks, or are they too serious?
No. I love
You like a wee Nicholas Sparks?
I love wee Nicholas Sparks.
John.
A Walk to Remember is a belter.
yeah.
You know, obviously the Notebook is the go-to for everybody, but A Walk to Remember, where Mandy Moore puts on an exquisite performance, ably aside a very young Shane West. Fucking
Right.
great show that. Love Actually, that's my favorite thing about Christmas.
Love Actually.
Love Actually.
No, my one's The Holiday.
Oh, The Holiday's a
What a
belter.
fucking belter. That's to me that's better than Love Actually. For Christmas
Really?
time, The Holiday.
Should
What
we-
a fucking movie.
So we do a wee, like, about 2 weeks or so out from Christmas, do we like Christmas movie
Let's do
marathon,
a
will we?
Christmas movie marathon,
Smoke a
yeah.
joint and see.
Don't always have to smoke a joint, like, but it's just better if you do.
It is a bit better, to be fair. But yeah, I love wee rom-com. I love anything set in Boston.
Yes,
I don't
so
think I've seen a bad movie set in Boston.
the fucking
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints is
The Town.
written and directed by Troy Duffy. Fucking great. Yeah, The Town. Written and directed by Ben Affleck.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
fucking absolutely fucking great.
Was Good Will Hunting a Boston thing?
Fucking right, it was.
was I?
What a movie! I watch that easily, like once every 3 or 4 months.
Aye.
Like how you like them apples.
That's a date movie for you as well. If you're having a wee date, you would show the old girl up, wouldn't you? Huh? I'm only joking, folks. I'm only joking.
Any girl that I've ever had a dalliance with is now being like, he fucking did. That's his fucking
Did I hit
move.
the on the head there? Did
You
I?
wee cunt.
I know it's a good movie for you. You like it,
Aye,
just wondering.
it's a good movie I enjoy watching. All right, another trying to think. Shutter Island.
Shutter Island.
There's another Boston movie.
What one's that?
Leonardo DiCaprio and
Oh, what's the other one with him in it? The Departed.
The Departed.
The Departed.
The Departed,
The
fucking
Departed.
fucking great movie. Mark
Fucking
Ruffalo,
Departed.
Mark Ruffalo's in Shutter Island as well. Another wee question before we go. Let me just double check. Blah blah blah. Any fun tour stories or travel stories
Jesus, here.
that you're allowed to say without
Yes.
fucking incriminating yourself,
Okay. No. So
or fucked up shit that's happened to you on tour?
the second night at Levon Helms, up in upstate New York. Levon was the drummer from the band. You know,
Right.
I rolled in the Nazareth. You know, that guy. That was him. So we were up at his house, which is also attached to like a theater. And the second night there, I hadn't really had proper American weed before. So
Like medical?
Medical
grade?
Yeah. So after my show, and after Foy had come off stage on his, Foy was sort of down the corridor a bit. Foy and I were close.
Foy who?
Foy Vance.
Right, okay, right.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Your close personal friend. Yeah.
Close person. And so he'd rolled me a joint, and I was pure grass. So I was sitting there like that. I was smoking.
Smoking it like you would a fag?
Like a normal. I was smoking away. Next time I was like, Foy, phone me a taxi, would you, man? I need to go home here, upstate New York. He says, what? I said, tell my man not along. And he went, what, mate? He came up to me and he went, what are you saying to me? I looked down and went, whoa, fucking hell. What are they doing to this? Phone me a taxi, tell my ma I'll be home soon.
Fuck me, you regressed about 30 years?
I fucking 30 years, I.
Fuck me.
No, some nice stories, but the thing about tours for me is that you end up seeing the venue and the door.
Yep.
And the bus is here. And you do your load in.
Yeah.
Then you do your shit, you do your show. So I've been Philadelphia bus, I've been everywhere in the States and
seen
literally seen none of it except what I've seen outside at 5 o'clock in the morning outside a tour bus window.
I impersonated a Gulf Airways airline pilot once.
Yeah.
So was in Bahrain for an MMA show in Bahrain. Done the show and everything, and we had a day to ourselves. Well, no, we were leaving that night, so we had a day to ourselves. Big mate of mine, Monty, who lives over in Bahrain, Irish lad, lovely fella.
Where's he from?
He is from just outside Dublin, but now lives in Bahrain. He is a pilot, so he met us he went to the show and everything the night before. He came for a pint with us, and he brought us some stuff. Like he sponsors like a Gaelic team out there, so he brought us like the Bahrain Gaelic top and everything. Brought me a pilot's jacket and a hat and everything, and this fucking cosplaying away, having a great time. So we had to leave. Now this was on Bahrain National Day, which is essentially their version of like St. Paddy's Day or like a civic day type thing. So the roads were fucking jammed, and we had to go back to our hotel and get our bags and everything like this, and the fucking time's running down, something shocking here, and traffic's not moving, non-existent, slowly. So we get eventually, after what should have taken us 5 minutes, has taken us an hour. So we get up to the road, and it's a wee road we're meant to dissect off, and it's blocked. And I'm there with Decky Larkin. And Decky Larkin, as you know, at the best of times, is a fucking loose cannon. So Decky
what a guy though.
I love him to death.
What a guy.
So Decky gets out of the car, and Decky's not fluent in Balaki, not English at the best of times. So if you've ever heard Decky talk, he sounds like a fucking washing machine with rocks on it.
What's happening, boy? You all right?
So he says to me, he's like, right, stay in. Now we've got to remember we're fucking tanked at this stage, like. So he says, like, stay in until I give you the nod and come out, and that's all he said to me. So I'm looking out, and I can see Decky like speaking to the policemen who have the road blocked off, and he's giving it fucking all the hands and just gesticulating, and you can see him getting angry and everything. And he points back at the taxi. So I think, right, fuck, this must be my cue. So I get out with a pilot jacket and all on me. Hat goes under my arm.
Get the fuck, Phil.
I walk over, casual as you like, put my hat on, say to the police officer, gentlemen, do we have some sort of trouble here? And Decky's going, I have a fucking pilot here from Gulf Airways. If he doesn't get to the fucking airport, nobody's getting home. And this was close to Christmas and everything. People will be stuck here over Christmas. They opened up the fucking road for us.
No way.
Gave us an escort back to the hotel.
Fucking hell, brother.
Get to the airport. Put through fucking staff security straight through. To the point, and I'm wearing a Batman t-shirt and a pair of ripped jeans under my jacket and my hat.
Jacket and the hat on.
American guy comes up to me, he's like, there's no way you're the pilot. And I was like, what do you mean, sir? He's like, well, like, look at you. And I was like, I tell you one thing, sir, my physical appearance does not impede upon my ability to fly that plane, sir. And he's like, wow. He's like, I'm also very fucking drunk. So this poor cunt was getting on a plane thinking his pilot was absolutely rope.
Smashed.
So that's probably the only one that I can say out loud.
Okay.
But I think that's us for...
Is that us?
That's
what
us.
did we do there? What time?
I think we're, about
45
45-ish minutes or so, aye.
Brilliant. That's a good wee starter, folks.
Happy days.
we can't wait to fucking do a few more of these, and we're glad to be back, aren't we?
Do you want to do the outro or anything? Or since you did the intro, no, I think you're going in yourselves a wee bit of host.
What the fuck's it? What's an outro? What do you do now?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to the Bat and the Bandit podcast. My name has been Phil Campbell, joined as always by my best friend in the whole wide world, Mr. Lee Rogers. Lee, you're also an accomplished musician, an award-winning tattoo artist. Where can people find you if they want to see your work or they want to listen to your music?
Get over to anything Spotify, Lee Rogers Music on Facebook and fucking Instagram. And my own personal page is L Rogers, ELROJERZ. So if you want to jump over there and fucking give me a wee ad, it's always good crack. There's always something going on.
Happy days. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in any way, shape or form in mixed martial arts, feel free to give me a wee follow at PC_commentary on Instagram and continue to like, share, subscribe to the Bat and the Bandit podcast. We'll see you next week.
We fucking love yous.